Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13 episode 7. So we open up the episode with Drew and her husband, and they're getting ready to take a walk around the neighborhood. I guess her foot is healed up and now she can do what she wants to do. She can participate more with the other girls in the different activities that they do. So she told her husband that she wants to have the girls over for dinner. So she's inviting the last person, which is Candy, I believe. And she's so excited to have them over to her house. Although, if I was her, I would just wait till we get into the new house. But, you know, so I could be like, this is my house, like. Meanwhile, Kenya is meeting up with LaToya and they are about to have brunch together. For some reason, Kenya decided to buy, well, no, she didn't buy it. She gave LaToya some lingerie that she didn't use. And she was saying, oh, I used to be this small, so I'm sure it'll fit you now, but I've been cleaning everything out. And LaToya sniffs it and I'm just like, that's how I felt about that. So they discussed the plans for the trip to South Carolina, and they talk about taking the private jet. And now LaToya is just saying that Kenya is her sugar mama and she's so excited. And yeah, I think when they get tired of having Kenya, LaToya is gonna be the new Kenya, because LaToya and Kenya are one and the same, man. If you got one, you got the other. But Kenya explains she's taking the private jet ahead of the other ladies so that she can get her nanny and Brooklyn settled. So Drew calls unexpectedly and invites Kenya to her house for the dinner. Oh, so maybe she wasn't the last one. Candy wasn't the last one that was invited. I don't know. Anyways, she calls Kenya and invites her and LaToya, who happens to be sitting right there. Kenya asks about LaToya coming and she says, yeah, that's fine. It was like she almost hesitated, but so LaToya will be coming as well. And then LaToya asks about the custody issue with Mark and how that's going, and Kenya just, you know, explains that it's not going well. She can't do anything with her own daughter because it seems like every time she wants to do something with Brooklyn, he has a problem and she can't do it, like featuring her in her ads for her hair care company, or taking her out of the country, which, I mean, you don't need to do that right now because it's a pandemic. Well, at the time that they were filming, she definitely didn't need to be. So, I mean, why worry about what you can't control anyway? But I agree with Kenya. You know, they've got to get that cleaned up, because especially if he's not the person that's the main caretaker, or if he's not somebody that is actively taking care of the child 50% of the time at least, like putting in his, you know, effort and hard work into raising this child, then why does he have such a heavyweight say on what happens with his daughter? I don't know. But I'm from the outside looking in, so all I know is what she is telling me, and Mark has decided to go quiet, so who knows what's really happening, but that really sucks. So we switch over to Drew, and Drew is prepping for the dinner that she's hosting with all the ladies. Cynthia arrives first, and for some reason it seems like the doorbell is not working or something, because Cynthia arrives, then Candy arrives, then Kenya arrives, and Portia arrives, and it seems like every time somebody gets there, they're just standing there knocking over and over again. But anyways, Cynthia arrives and Candy arrives, and of course when Kenya gets there, at that point the ladies have gone out back, and Kenya is greeted at the door by Drew's husband, and she gives that flirty, nervous laugh. You know Kenya, when she does that flirty, nervous laugh, she's like, okay, thanks, nice to meet you. Like it's weird, like you can tell she's nervous, but she's like, ooh, he looks good. Like you can tell. Then Portia arrives, and I think Drew's husband greets her at the door as well. And then in the confessionals, the producer asks, what do you think about Drew's husband? Being messy, those producers. And she says, oh, that's not, nope, not me. Won't be me. That's Kenya who does that. Ask Kenya. And of course, Kenya's like, oh, he's a good looking guy. Like, girl, haven't you learned your lesson with this? As they're beginning to consume their drinks and eat and really like loosen up with one another, Portia's like, hey, so somebody brings up LaToya's name, and Drew's like, oh yeah, she's not here, where is she at? And Portia was like, well, hold on, don't get too excited. First of all, she was shading you for your wig. And she was like, hold on, I don't even know this girl. How, what? So Portia goes on and tells them about how LaToya had been shading her for her wig, saying it was lifting up, and like, I mean, the way she described it, I'm sure all the women thought she was gonna show up to the event with her wig on backwards. But Portia says, like, hey, I mean, just so you think I'm not trying to be messy, Cynthia and Candy were there as well, so they can back up my claims and what I'm saying. And Kenya's just sitting there like, real quiet, because she knows her friend is, yes. We all know she did it. We saw it. So Drew comes back with the good one, and she's like, listen, with everything going on with this virus, it's hard for us to be able to keep our hair looking good and being in the hair salon and whatnot. So yes, I had a bad wig day. No, I'm not ashamed of it. Look how Kenya came. Kenya came how she came. And listen, Kenya is a beautiful woman, but she did look a little toe up by the head at that dinner. Like, I don't know that she, and you know, listen, I have short hair. If I don't have somebody do my hair for me, I'm gonna look toe up, which is why I had that head wrap last week. But she just like slicked it back and it didn't stay, and it didn't look like a hairstyle that Kenya would, I don't know, it didn't meet her standard. I don't know how to describe it without sounding crazy. But it just didn't seem like the way she would walk out of the house, if that made any sense. You could tell she takes a lot of pride in how she looks and how she carries herself. So it just didn't seem like how she would have her hair done or how she would be comfortable having her hair styled. But you know, she still looked cute with her little dress and her tennis shoes. So yeah, that was funny. Okay, Drew, you getting your little jabs in here and there throughout the episode. I see you. When they sit down to eat their formal dinner, Drew says to the other women, like, you know, my mom's a pastor and my husband plays the piano and I sing and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, let me hear you sing. So she sings Amazing Grace and she sounds good. And then they flash back to Portia singing Amazing Grace a few seasons back. And Portia, you might have done it first, but you didn't do it the best. So they end up talking about the trip and everybody's excited. And Drew, knowing that she talked to Kenya earlier that episode or whenever it was, and Kenya said, I don't want the other ladies to know we're taking a private jet, so don't say anything. And she's just like, oh yeah, oh, you guys aren't taking the bus with us? How are you guys gonna get there? And the way she looked at her like, tell us, how? And you know what? If Kenya had not been messing with her or saying things about her all throughout the season about her being a stray and gassing up LaToya with the wig thing, I would have been like, nah, Drew, come on, bruh. But Kenya, you know, shot herself in the foot and is like, well, you know, you deserve a little shade reciprocated back to you. So there you go. Can't get mad. So as they were talking, as they were talking about the private jet, Kenya says, yes, we're gonna take a private jet ahead of time. And Candy says, you so rich. Like Candy's not the person with the most money in the room. But okay. Candy, you're rich too. You're just rich and cheap. So, I mean, you could do the same thing if you wanted to. But hey, that could be the reason why she got so much money, besides being a smart business person. I have to give her that, because she is. But I mean, you are also very frugal, girl. So that's probably how you've been able to hold on to a lot of this coin to invest in other things. And I can't get mad at it. I wish I was like that. So everybody's packing for the trip. And Drew's husband's helping her. She's got this crazy looking wig on that she's like slinging back and forth. But he's telling her she looks good and stuff. And I'm like, is it just me, or does it seem like her husband's being really nice this episode? I don't know if she's setting some, I don't know if he is setting something up for showing his butt later. But why are you being so nice? Is it because she's about to leave and go on this trip and you gonna have a little bit of freedom? Is that why? Is that why? So Candy is packing as well. And Candy is, you know, just throwing stuff in the suitcase, which we've all been there. We've all been there. And she's talking to Todd, and Todd's saying how he's gonna throw Mike a bachelor party and that she should do the same when they get to South Carolina for Cynthia. And she's like, that's a good idea. So I guess that's the setup for how it turns into a bachelorette party trip. So next scene, we have all the ladies getting ready to depart on their trip. Kenya is at her house getting everything put into the car. She's telling the guy that's setting them up how to put Brooklyn into the car and how to strap up her seatbelt. And she's just explaining about how it sucks that, you know, she doesn't have a supportive husband to stay home with her children, or with her child. And, you know, if she had that, of course, Brooklyn will be home with Mark, but Mark is in New York, and Mark does not want to come to Atlanta to see her or her child. I mean, I don't know that he just doesn't want to come to see his child at all, but it just seems like that man really does not like Kenya, and sad to watch. I mean, you know, she's talked a lot of crap about everybody else's marriage and what everybody else's husband would rather be doing and what your husband does while you're not. She's talked a lot of crap about a lot of people. So it is crazy to see how much the tables have turned in her situation, where she is dealing with crap in her own marriage. And I'm not saying she wants sympathy from everybody, but she wants sympathy from everybody. She doesn't want anybody to say anything negative like she did to them. So the other group of ladies are all arriving to Candy's house, which is where they're gonna pack up and get on the bus and start the drive. I think it was a 5-hour drive or something like that to South Carolina. Portia is the first one there on time. Just Portia setting all kinds of records this season. But I'm just glad, you know, we're not just seeing her we're not just seeing Portia the activist. We're seeing Portia going out and doing normal things and having fun. Because to be honest, us normal people, we watch this show to just enjoy a bunch of people with a lot of money doing a lot of things and getting into drama and watching the drama unfold. That's all we really want to do. So it was nice to take a step back and see other things besides like current events that were going on at the time. Lord knows, I don't think any of us wants to relive 2020. Milo arrives in a hazmat suit, and it's funny because at my job during the summer last year, because you know I work in a skilled nursing facility. I'm sure y'all don't know that, but I do. If you don't know, I'm a speech pathologist at a skilled nursing facility. And last summer, you know, when the pandemic was, you know, like really up there, we had to wear those things, and they were like, they were pretty comfortable. They weren't that bad. They were comfortable because you didn't have to worry about getting like dirty and, you know, but it just covered everything. Like, I liked them. Like, I'm mad at her, but you ain't finna wear that the whole 5 hours. I know that. You're not gonna wear that all 5 hours. So on the bus ride, They asked for an update on Dennis, and she's just saying, oh, you know, he gave me a ride. It was funny when he dropped her off. He was like, all right. And she's like, thanks. They gave him a little fist bump. Oh, Portia. But she says she wants to try to be friends so that when they are trying to co-parent, they can at least be amicable with one another, and we'll see how that goes, because everybody knows when Portia gets that Hennessy in her system, she's going right back to Dennis. So we switch over to Kenya and LaToya landing in South Carolina, and they're having their moment coming off the private jet and living their best life while the other women are on the bus sweating. And they get to the beach house. The beach house is beautiful. They assign rooms, Marlo getting the worst room, of course, because LaToya told Kenya that Marlo said, don't trust Kenya, don't tell all your business. And of course, LaToya told her that, so Marlo gets the crappiest room. And then we have, at the last scene, we have Portia getting upset because Brooklyn was able to go on the trip, and she was upset that she couldn't bring her own child, which all of the girls seem like leaving their child at home was hard. But I'm just getting Potomac vibes from the issue with Cynthia wanting to bring her dad to the wedding, just like Candace. And now we have Portia getting upset that she can't bring PJ on the trip, just like Wendy. Like, let's get some original content. I mean, I'm sure they probably didn't know that this was going on Potomac around the same time, but still, like, I'm not trying to watch y'all redo. Potomac was lit last season. I really enjoyed last season, but I don't need Atlanta to be doing the same thing. I need y'all to come up with something else. So that wraps up season 13, episode 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you guys think of this episode in the comments. I had a great time. Like, I enjoyed watching this episode. It's finally starting to get a little bit more interesting now that they're doing things together, and I'm excited to see what this trip entails. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram at HeyMrsGardner. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.